Motrimis mama la capre, motrimis mama la capre.
Previously on
Let's get it on! And looks like our wife really took that to heart. She plotted to get herself adopted. A 26-year-old woman planned to get herself adopted. He told us the following.
When you were plowing the fields, I studied the blade. When you were having premarital sex, I mastered the blade. While you wasted your days at the pursuit of vanity, I cultivated the blade. And now that the duchy are at our gates, you have the audacity to come to me for help? It will cost you.
Refused. And oh my Zalmoxis, what is this? What happened? A disaster struck? Is it a disaster or is it a blessing in disguise by Zalmoxis himself?
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
And welcome to an exciting new episode of Let's Get It On. And here we are once again up on a tree, and we foresee a great victory, but the enemy might disagree. Why are we in a tree? Because underneath the mistletoe we find in waiting some murderous Dacian homicidal maniacs. This is their natural habitat. Now, as you might see by the erratic movement of our cavalry straight from the start, I didn't really know what to do with them, at least in the beginning, because the enemy has built some really annoying barrier here. But eventually we did settle on a plan. I think this is Costico, yes, and he and the Princelings will actually go again on a quest to try and hit the enemy from behind. This might have been the first of many tactical blunders. Now our formation is the usual one. I guess we should give it a name. It's the serrated Malva line. We have the spears. This is supposed to be our main line, and in between them we have the damage dealing units. And the king will stay here to help bolster the middle. But we might not stick that much to the plan. And as we slowly wait for the enemy to join his two armies, let's have a talk about the topography, which will play a big role in this battle. This will soon become the Death Valley of Belendava. This time, despite the enemy being considered a lot weaker than us, actually charges. Even quite some time before I was fully prepared. But we are doing our best to soften them up. I wasn't really prepared because my murderous Poturatense are still coming through the woods, because I really didn't want them to get shot at by all kind of rebel that the Scordisi I have. And as you can see, our plan is working. We are slowly retreating with the archers and exchanging them with some more capable men who will stop the enemy units from charging the softer underbelly of our main line. Or at least they were supposed to. I guess it worked, just doesn't really look like it. It's really funny how these men are kind of ignoring each other back to back. These are enemy combatants. Okay, these made contact, and I like the kind of content.
Excuse me, sir. We are at war. Oi, you talking to me? You talking to me?
And the youths also came with a really nice flanking action. Now they are shooting their pylons and really doing a number on this spear unit. Here I think these are the spears. And yeah, we also moved our archers to shoot from an angle. And look at this unit of archers. We cut them on a really nice angle, and we're technically shooting at them from behind. And they melted after 3 volleys. That's all it took.
Now at this point, this was really what's the opposite of disheartening? Very heartening. As you can see, a lot of the Scordisi are already breaking ranks, and this is like 1 second after we started tickling each other to see who's winning, and we are already winning, except for this unit.
For some reason this unit really held for a long time. Now this might look like it's another easy victory, and it should have been, because most of the enemy combatants are meh.
And of course, just as I insult our enemies, look at their cavalry charging downhill to really make us feel the pain. This is of course nice showmanship of how you should use your cavalry. Not the way we are going to use our cavalry for some silly reason, but I guess I will use the magical powers of editing and just show you what we actually did with our elite cavalry.
And here we are with the princelings deep behind enemy lines, and what do we spot if not the infamous General Busamaros and his gang of really hardened bodyguards. And this is a great prize for our princelings, who will spend the rest of the battle just hurling insults and pilums at the enemy general.
Your mama so fat, when she goes camping, the bear hides their food. Your mama so ugly, she made a blind kid cry. Your mama so fat, she can't even jump to a conclusion. You guys are so poor, the ducks throw bread at you. Your mama's teeth are so yellow, I can't believe it's not butter.
And just by this act alone, they will gain so much experience that they level up by like 2 pips to level 5. And become kind of really elite warriors. And look at the general. I guess he's too busy shouting orders at his men to actually notice that he is being molested. What are they? Okay. Wow, that was quite a volley. I pity this general. Actually, should we pity him? Because he came, he organized and oversaw the slaughtering of all the heretic Dacians. Well, I guess it was Zalmoxis' will, but I don't know. I am told. I don't know what to think about him. Anyway, he is dead. Meanwhile, Costico and his gang of overpaid, excellent warriors were just behind the princelings, and decide to, instead of harassing the general, to actually go for valid targets. Now, sadly enough, the main thing that was in their way was this tiny unit of archers, which may not be the best use of such elite units. Now here I'm also trying to evade this kind of bullshit, because the last thing I want is one of my overpaid mercenaries to die to some cat trap. And we were trying to do what we usually do with the cavalry, to catch all of the enemy archers and really disrupt them. Now it ended up not necessarily being the best use of our elite units. These are the Perendava murderous scum with their forxes, and they will also they have to run all the way over here, because this is where the enemy has all the archers and we don't have shields, so they really had to put their stamina where their mouth is if they didn't want to just dive to silly enemy fire. Now for some reason here, I don't know why it took so long to Costico to kill a unit of basically a huntsman from the woods. I guess these men were hardened men, but it really annoyed me how hard it was for him to just clear one unit of archers, and here we try to disengage because a unit of spear came. That's more of a fair fight, and we shall have none of this. And to counter the enemy spears, we sent our Potulatense diehards. Oh, this is a bad payday for this guy. Anyway, here the Potulatense are pinning down and actually slaughtering that brave unit of spears that tried to kill Costico. and Kostico will come to avenge his fallen brother, but I think he only lost one guy in that whole scuffle earlier, and that totally breaks this unit of spear. But anyway, this was a really good exchange for the Scudicii. One unit of spear and one tiny unit of archers pinned down two of my elite units, and they're still raining arrows on those exposed folksmen. So this is more or less a bad exchange for me. Now the princelings are also coming, trying to catch the Scudicii light horse, which were really annoying for some reason. Here we got a bit desperate. We started shooting fire at our enemy, because while the left flank is doing really well, here it happens.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
This was the moment when we thought something went awry. What happened here? So now we will go back in time and study why. How did this happen? And here we are on the right flank. And how do we know this is the right flank? Because King Tarbus, king of the Getae and the first man, is here, and he is always right. And the Scudicii really put some pressure on this flank. First they came with their king, with his gang of 6-7 horse riders, and our king of course couldn't resist this tasty snack. So we charged at him. Another kind of wasteful use of an elite unit. Might notice a trend in this battle. And here we are joined by quite a horde of enemy units, and in order to combat that, we moved from our main formation one unit of X. So we only had the Sika here. They were supposed to be just right here. They were supposed to be aided by the Sikas, by the X-Men, but the X-Men were moved over here to deal with this, all of this. What a nice tree. And while they are doing a lot of damage here, moving, I don't regret moving them here, but this really exposed a huge weakness in our main center line. The Sikas, while they can more or less deal damage equivalent to the X-Men, one thing they can't is really hold the line. And this unit of spear can rarely breaks, but as we saw, this unit of Sikas will break. Here the king finished his playing with the enemy king, our Roxy or something like that. Anyway, he was a bad king and no one will ever remember him. Now we are chasing down a unit of archers. Actually, these are not even archers, these are they're equivalent of our youths. An annoyingly fast unit. Really young men on foot who are almost as fast as our cavalry. I wish they were fat, but no, they have a speed of 4 and horses have a speed of 6. So look how much it took us to chase them down. Another kind of a waste of our elite units, but we just had to do it, otherwise this flank would collapse. Here our own youths already expended all of their pilums and are now charging into the fray to hold the extreme right flank. And we are doing quite well despite the pressure. A unit that really impressed me were these men who fought under the big giant tree. They were harassed by this tiny unit that I kept ignoring. These are, oh my god, these were the Thracians, the Celto-Thracian sellswords. That's why they refused to die so quickly. So anyway, they were holding these and like at least two other units until we actually had time to deal with them, and they didn't break. I was really impressed with them. Now let's concentrate on this unit of Sika that will mess up our whole battle.
we already started shooting fire at the enemy. This is more of a signaling to our own troops that something isn't going so well. And on hindsight, this might have been just the straw that broke the camel's back, I think, because they are close enough to the enemy in flambe that I think they felt the heat, literally speaking, and that might have been why they actually broke. Now, of course, this was actually quite an oversight on the side of my tactical genius, leaving them alone to face, I think they faced like 3 individual units there, and one of those full strength levies. So they actually performed pretty well, but of course we won't share the blame. And here they are breaking. This is a disaster, not because we are in any real threat of losing this battle, spoiler alert, but it exposes a huge flaw that we have in this specific jagged formation. The Seekers just and it's not really just the Seekers, it's also the Seekers and the X-Men. They just can't, if push comes to shove, they just can't hold the line. And that's even against like an army of basically rebel. These are the remnants of 2 proper armies that were combined into one half an army. Even if we did some tactical blunders by sending all of our elite units away, they still shouldn't have buckled to pressure from rebels. They should have held for enough time until this happens. Here is Costico, and here is our king mopping up and helping all the units that were still engaged and having a hard time. They just had to hold for like 3 more minutes. And that's the difference between like a unit with well, I guess this is also the end of the battle. Quite anticlimactic, me ranting about our tactical logistical failures. Let's do a nice flyby, and maybe a nice look at all the men that died in the... I told you this will become the Valley of Death. Another tactical blunder that we had is that we fought in a small hill, slope. Yeah, slope. And I guess the enemy did get that bonus from fighting in the higher ground. Wow, you can see where the Folksmen fought. Here you have half of people with so much blood, and this is where normal people fought. You know, there's just not as much carnage. Anyway, quite a beautiful sight. And we are already organized our lovely victory parade. And one eternity later, the king actually arrived. This is more of a speech, I guess, than an actual parade. More of I guess a lecture about the failings of that unit of Seekers. If we were Romans, we would decimate them, I guess. But we will see how we will deal with such failings. A unit of Seeker to kill less than 100 men is a shameful display. And look at, speaking about shameful display, look at the infamous enemy general. He sacked a city, but when facing real opposition, he managed to kill 0 men. Now, I guess the real MVPs are, no, they're not Ptulatense. Interesting. I guess it's all of our cavalry, because once the enemy broke, we just chased them and ate them one by one. But who really impressed were, I guess, the youths with 110 and 153. They really came during the clutch time with both pylons from really good angles and from and with the charges to just enough charge to really break the enemy in clutch moments. And also the archers did quite a number, 138 kills, impressive.
especially since we were fighting against I think most of the enemy had shields. Yeah, literally most of the enemies were just levies with those big shields with the 75% bonus against bows. So impressive. Oh god damn it.